Swinburne University of Technology.
Hi everybody and welcome to SSK130 Academic Literacies Learning and Communication Practices, brought to you by Open Universities Australia and Swinburne University. This is your introductory video. My name is Lucy Nicholas, Dr. Lucy Nicholas. I teach sociology and academic literacies from Swinburne University here in Melbourne. I'm here in the recording studio at Hawthorn campus. I know I look like I'm in a ship, but I'm actually not. In this video, I just want to give you a brief overview of the unit. I want to talk to you a little bit about how to get started and the nature of independent online study, and also guide you around the blackboard, which I'll show you in a little while. So, just to start out with the overview then, this unit's intended as a kind of first unit in university study, a kind of introductory to university learning, and a taste of what you'll need to be capable of in your further studies with Open Universities Australia. So, as you will have seen from your unit outline, you should have had a unit outline emailed to you to your personal email address. As you'll see in that, there's a schedule of the weekly topics, and the unit's kind of split into two different sections. So the first 6 weeks is intended to kind of guide you through one academic conversation, and weekly go over a different skill you need to make a piece of work about that topic. So the idea is that you go through and investigate how people make knowledge in that area, how academics make academic knowledge in that area, how you can engage in that knowledge, and how you can then make an investigative essay about that topic. And the topic is the unequal participation in university study in Australia by different demographics. And we'll start talking about that in week 2. In that section of the unit, this first 6 weeks, there's a skill level and there's a content level, and they interact and lead you towards your first essay. You have 3 worksheets in that section that you have to complete, and you submit them all together, and then you have an essay at the end of that section, which the worksheets feed into, so it all kind of is cumulative. The second half of the unit is intended to be more like a critical engagement with the idea of knowledge, and will kind of emulate the independent nature of university study, I guess. You'll do a lot of independent reading, discussion on the discussion boards, and then you'll have more open essay questions for that topic, which you'll need to interpret, and you'll need to choose an approach from all of the lecture information and readings that you will have done from week 7 onwards. So that's more of an independent approach to university study, where you get a little bit more freedom and choice. So I hope that's a good thing. One key point about this unit is that there's no textbook. So all the readings that you need, all the core readings that you need, should I say, are on the blackboard, and I'll show you when I guide you around the blackboard how you get into those readings. They're mostly up there as PDFs. The odd one is a link to an ebook or a journal, but they're all things that you can view online. Additionally to that, for your essays, you'll have to do some independent research to find some additional sources, but you'll be guided through that weekly by the lectures and lessons, and also the librarian's got a dedicated session about that in week 3. So the key thing really to realise about OUA study from Swinburne, at least, is that it pretty much all takes place on the Blackboard website. So in your unit outline that you will have been sent, there's really clear instructions for getting into the Blackboard, for logging in, for what your username is and how you log into the Blackboard. When you log in, this is what you'll see. So you'll see over here a link to this unit, SSK130 Academic Literacies. And this is a kind of portal for getting into all your units with Swinburne. The first thing that we always ask you guys to do, and that the tech nerds have asked me to emphasize to you, is that there's this support tab over here, and this will make sure that your computer is running the best that it can for Blackboard. As you can see, I'm not. That's great. So if you make sure that all of these 4 things are ticked, then you'll avoid problems in the future down the line with the unit, that technical issues that might happen. And there's instructions on how to make sure they're all compliant there. So that's a technical background thing. To get into the unit then, you just click on the blue name and you'll always be taken into the announcements area. You already have found this introduction tab because you're watching this video. In the introduction tab, please do read all of the other information in there. It's kind of boring, but if you read it all at the beginning, get it out of the way, then hopefully things will run smoother for you. In there, one key bit of information, which I hope you've already learned from watching this video, is that the best way to watch the videos that we put up is to right click and save rather than to stream. It just means that it runs a bit more smoothly. Most problems with videos can be resolved if you just right click and save instead of just left clicking and watching. Also in that introduction tab over here, you'll see some instructions or guidelines anyway about engaging in the discussion boards and some information and guidelines about the Collaborate virtual classroom, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But if you go in there, you can print them or download these instructions or guidelines. Finally, there's instructions in there for how to forward emails that you get to your Swinburne email account to a personal email address. We'd probably rather that you just checked your Swinburne email account, to be honest, because we like you to reply to us from there, because unfortunately, because of the mad high security that we have, a lot of personal emails go straight to the spam folder and we lose them and we never reply. So if you could use your Swinburne email, that would be great. And as I said, instructions with screen grabs and everything, how to get into your Swinburne email and what your password is set at is in your unit outline that you've been sent. Another key area, I guess, is the general forums down here. In here, you've got a library questions forum where Susan, our lovely OUA librarian, will answer questions. And then down here, you've got a technical issues section where the special OUA technical assistant will answer your questions about any technical issues you have about the unit. So please ask your technical questions there rather than of your tutor. Your tutor's more intended to guide you with the content of the unit. It's a really good idea to get to know this Blackboard like the back of your hand. Just have a look around, click on all the tabs, have a look what's in everything, and then you'll feel more confident navigating around it in the coming 13 weeks. So the three main tabs that I think you'll probably go to are the Learning Material tab here, where the weekly lessons are, the Tutorial Group Discussion Board here, which is where your discussion board is, self-explanatory, and the Assessment tab here, which is where all the information about your assessment is, as well as the place where you submit your assessment. I would say read that assessment information up front so that you know when the deadlines are, put them in your diary, and know what you're working towards. It's probably a good idea. There's also information about assessments in the unit outline. So the first tab, we'll have a look at the Learning Materials tab just to get to know the format. You've got all the weeks listed here, and within each week you have a written lesson and a video version of it. So you can do either. You can either watch these videos here, right click and save, or you can read it, or if you really want to, you can do both. They're pretty much the same in terms of content. And I use Prezi for the video, which is a more swooshy, more animated version of PowerPoint, really. And you can click and look at these slides in your own time if you want to, just by clicking on that. It will take you to the Prezi website. So you make it full screen by clicking here, and you can just navigate your way through these slides. Press escape to get out of it. So you can either watch the video or read the lecture, and you can watch the slides back if you want to. Also, in every week, you'll find lesson resources here at the bottom, and that's where you'll find the readings for each week. So as I said before, the readings, we've tried to make them as accessible as possible to you guys by making them PDFs held by the university. So to get into these readings, you click on them, and you'll be asked to log in here with what we call your Sims username, which is the same username and password you used to log into Blackboard. So you log in there, and that will give you a PDF of that reading. Hopefully that's convenient for you guys. And then at the bottom, we try to help you to stay on top of things by structuring the unit with weekly tasks, which will hopefully help you to get to the point of your assessment in a timely, non-stressful way. So we list all the activities that you need to do to stay on top of things here. View the lecture, read something, contribute to the discussion board, and think about the essay. Okay, so the next tab that you'll probably use is your tutorial group discussion board. If you click on that, it will just take you to your group. You've got a personal tutor and you've also got a tutorial group. You'll know who your personal tutor is because they will have sent you a welcome email to your Swinburne account, so please log in and have a look at that. Just telling you who they are and what they can do for you. And then you're also put in a group, and this is how you find it. So you click on here, and this group's got 3 tutors who'll be monitoring this board. And you'll see that the folders are set up, so you've got folders to ask questions about all of the assignments there. And now below that you've got one different forum for each week. And there's questions to structure the discussion for each week in there. So please have a look at that every week and engage in the conversation. Just a heads up, and this is emphasised in the guidelines for the discussion board as well. There's this create forum button here and we can't get rid of it. But please try not to create or don't create forums because it just creates another forum down here and confuses everybody. So just pretend that button isn't there. And if you want to post in one of the forums, so supposing you want to ask a question about your first assignment, you just go in here and press create thread, write what you have to write and submit. Don't think that there is any such thing as a stupid question. If you've thought of a question, chances are many other students have thought of the question as well, and quite possibly you've thought of it because we forgot to tell you. So please do feel free to post any questions in this discussion board, and one of the tutors who is monitoring the discussion board will respond to your question, and it will be really helpful for the other students to see the answer as well. At the top here, this is a key forum on your discussion board for your group. Here is how you get to your weekly Collaborate live virtual classroom sessions. So Collaborate is a software where you can log in and participate with audio and video to interact with your tutor and with other students. You can choose any of the sessions for your group. So highlighted here are the 4 sessions for this particular group. At this time, you just click on here, type your name in, and you're in a virtual classroom. The first week of the Collaborate sessions will take you through all the functions, so don't be worried that we're going to throw you straight in at the deep end. What we do really ask you to do, though, is to, in good time before the session, go and check your audio settings with the test room link, which is in the introduction tab over here, along with a bit more instruction about Collaborate. It's a really great resource. It's very much voluntary. We know that you guys studying online have different commitments and can't always attend, but we try to give you varied times, but it's a voluntary resource. You can go in there and actually interact with your tutor and other students live. Your tutors will also post links to the recordings of these sessions, so if you want to watch them back to see if you missed anything, you just click on this Collaborate information only, and there'll be threads in here with links for you to watch those back. Alright, the third most important tab is the Assessments tab. Here's some instructions for how to submit an assignment, which will be important for you. Here's the reference system guide, which we'll talk about as we go through the unit. But there's a folder for each assessment here. If you click on that, you'll find everything you need for getting that assessment done. If you look here, the deadlines are very clearly marked and they're clearly listed in the unit outline also. There's a submission button at the bottom of the folder. So here, the first essay submission. This date is the last possible date that you can submit. So please don't leave it to the last minute. You can submit this any time before that date. And it's probably best for your own well-being if you do that. And also try not to leave questions for your tutor for the last hour or day before it's due, because you can't guarantee that you're going to get a response. So please, time management is key here. When it comes to submitting, click on there, press Browse My Computer, choose a file, and then upload it. Press Submit down here. Alright, so in terms of extensions for assignments, we really only offer extensions if you have very extenuating circumstances for which you can give us evidence. The information about extensions is here, the application form is here, and we ask you to fill that application form in, give us as much evidence as possible, and send that to your personal tutor, please. But as I said, that's really only for extenuating circumstances, so please try to get your assignments done on time. All right, so finally, I'd just like to talk briefly a little bit about online study in general. Some of you this may be your first unit, and about getting started. Online study is independent in nature because it's flexible. It's for you to complete in your own time when you choose. So nobody's going to tell you to get started. This is probably it. This is us telling you to get started. So whilst we've made weekly lessons in the learning materials tab, it's up to you to do those lessons every week. Nobody's going to be following you up to check you've done them. We have structured it to that extent, but that is really where the structure ends. It's really up to you to get the work done week by week. That's probably the best way to do it. So every week, look at the lesson folder, engage with the discussion board, and if you want to, engage in the collaborate session and do the tasks listed at the bottom. You should stay on top of things, I hope. As I said, you have a personal tutor, and they're your first port of call, really. And the best way to contact them is on the discussion board, as I said. They will have sent you that introductory email, and they will be marking your work when you upload it to the Blackboard and giving you feedback for that work. They're here to guide you to the same extent as you would expect from a teacher if you're studying on campus. So you can ask them questions on a discussion board, and they'll try to respond to you within 24 hours on a weekday, but usually much quicker, to be honest. But you need to remember that we all have lives, and some of the tutors have other jobs, so we can't really offer an on-demand 24-hour on-the-spot response service. So please make sure that you give enough time for your tutor to respond to you. And the response you get online study, I think, is probably much quicker than you would actually get on campus, so it's pretty great. But I know that we're all used to immediate gratification from the internet these days. But you just have to have realistic expectations of your and reasonable expectations of your tutors on an online study, because it is independent in nature and self-led. So the message here really is, if you prepare in advance, and especially for assignments, you won't have to post a question to the discussion board an hour before the assessment's due and get frustrated when there's no reply at 11 p.m. when your tutor's probably asleep anyway. So don't leave assessment questions till the last day, is a good piece of advice I can give you. And finally, I don't want to put a downer on the video, but university study is hard. It involves a lot of reading, a lot of independent research, and a lot of work. It's higher learning, and we provide you with what we can here. We provide you with all the resources we think you need to succeed, but we also have to give you realistic expectations about what you can expect from future study and future units. So the bottom line really is that it's up to you to succeed. It's up to you to engage. It's up to you to get the work done. And we do all that we can to help you. But just get started. Lesson 1, get it done. And I'll see you on the Lesson 1 lecture video. Good luck, and I hope you enjoy the unit. And do email your tutors or myself if you have any questions. Nice to see you all. Bye.
This has been a Swinburne production.